Our D&D group is a bit different than most. Most groups have around 5 or 6 players. We're unique in that we have 11. We once tried to run a game with all of them, however after a few hours the DM was ready to end it all. So, because of our particular situation, we decided to split our groups up into 2 parties that would adventure around the same world and interact with the same elements and even possibly each other. The 2 groups became the cool adventurers and the other ones. I was obviously part of the other ones. So our group consisted of Che, a male dryad rogue, Galena, a tiefling ranger, Bunny, a half-orc barbarian, and my character, Rose, a human cleric. We also had another cleric who was a dwarf, however the player would never tell us his name, so we just called him Flapjack. So our story begins with our party being given a job in a tavern by a gnome captain. See, we needed transport across the sea, and this captain was willing to give us passage if we did something for him in return. He explains to us that a ship full of Arcadian soldiers had landed on a beach not too far away, and because of their presence, the captain was concerned about his business dealings. He wanted us to take care of the soldiers and make it look like it was an attack done by a bunch of rebels, which he hopes will deter them from ever returning. The captain also decided to send with us one of his crew members, a gnome named Ook, to watch over us. So we set off, and it wasn't long before we arrived at the ship. Upon first arriving, the rogue decided to do some recon and reports back to us with what is up.
Okay, guys. It looks like there are 2 people in the crow's nest of the boat, as well as 12 on the ground, and 4 more on the deck.
After hearing this, I draft up a battle strategy and give it to the players.
Okay, so here's my plan. Chang and Galena will hide in the tree line and snipe the 2 soldiers in the crow's nest. The rest of us will wait over here. Assuming that the soldiers on the ground start to investigate where the arrows came from, the rest of us will rush aboard, take out the remaining men, and from there finish off the men looking for you. Easy.
Everyone agrees that this seems like a solid plan. However, we do have one issue. From an earlier encounter, we had been traveling with 2 bear cubs that our tiefling had adopted, and we couldn't just lead them out into the fight.
I have an idea. What if we tied the bears to Ook?
I don't think you should. I mean a bear.
That sounds like a great idea.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Ignoring the gnome's protests, we set our plan into action. The ranger and the rogue easily took out the 2 soldiers in the crow's nest, and as predicted, the others on the ground started searching for them, but only about 4 headed in the right direction. Meanwhile, Bunny and I rushed towards the boat while Flapjack stayed behind the woods for God knows what reason. Without him, Bunny and I easily downed the 3 soldiers fleeing for the ship, while those that were on board moved to the crow's nest to fire down upon us. We stared down the remaining soldier on deck, however as we began to attack, 4 more soldiers came up from below deck. I targeted 2 of them with a spell, while Bunny continued to finish off the man we were confronting. I managed to do a bit of damage, but Bunny completely missed their attack, which meant it was the soldier's turn. It was not long before I was down and Bunny was seriously injured. It was at this point that Flapjack finally sprung into action and rushed as far as his little dwarf legs could carry him onto the boat. What followed was a series of me going down not once, not twice, but 3 times, Bunny continually missing her attacks, all while Flapjack friendly ran around attacking soldiers and healing us as best as he could. Meanwhile, the sniper team was decimating. They'd taken out nearly every soldier who had come up to them, with only a few soldiers fleeing into the woods, or so they thought. Back on the boat, things were still going to hell, as another 4 soldiers had arrived from below deck. Luckily, the sniper team had just finished off the last of the men that they were fighting, and they started giving us support. Because of this, we were finally able to get some hits in, and even managed to down a few of the soldiers. This newfound hope, though, was short-lived as a group of soldiers re-emerged from the forest and swarmed our snipers who were now on the ground defenseless. So as we finished off the remaining boat soldiers, the new ground soldiers finished off our snipers. With the boat secured, I rushed to the side of the ship to finish off the remaining ground soldiers and then rushed to stabilize our fallen comrades. With both of them stable, I took a sigh of relief and prepared a mass healing spell, but not before 4 more soldiers decided to show up from the other side of the forest. Frantically, I healed our tiefling, we both grabbed Che and rushed aboard the ship in order to start defending the boat. These remaining men were pretty easy to fight off from our higher vantage point on the boat, although one lucky one managed to throw their sword straight through Bunny's chest. Bunny was fine, and they got a cool sword out of it. In the end, we defeated nearly 40 soldiers and were pretty worse for wear. It was at this point that the DM decided to share something with us that they realized during the fight.
Yeah, there was not supposed to be 40 people?
Our DM had been given this encounter by the other DM, and they had misread the age of the captain as the number of soldiers there were supposed to be. So here's hoping that we never have to face a 100-year-old captain and his crew. See you next time.